Just wow. Unbelievable. What a swing.
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber enhanced his trade value today. We'll talk about the Cubs' options. White Sox get one of their sluggers back. Bears practice for the first time in pads this season. And I'll go one-on-one with Bears boss George McCaskey. All tonight right here on The Final Word. I'm Lou Cadellis, sitting alongside one of my teammates here at Fox, Mitch Robinson.
I'm glad you corrected that.
Good to see you, buddy. And ESPN Radio's Jason Goff alongside. It's been a while.
It's been good, man. I mean, I missed you, you know.
I missed seeing you, but we heard each other.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I heard you all over the place, actually. You're making moves out here.
Been working double overtime. Hey, Cubs win big, but still need to make a deal. And the White Sox get clobbered, but they may stay silent without a move up to Wednesday's trade deadline. What are you thinking?
I mean, there's only a couple of names that we're really talking about. If you're talking about the Sox, it's Jose Abreu, maybe a couple of the relievers that you don't know if they're going to be the same after next year. So if those guys don't get moved, okay.
Would you move Abreu?
If the deal was right, he means a lot to a lot of the youngsters in that lineup. And Yohan Moncada and some of the other Eloy, he's kind of transitioning and bridged that gap, showing them how to live in a big city, how to get your rest, when to go out, that kind of thing. So he's a professional, but if you can get your socks blown off with a deal, you part ways with Jose.
I think it's pretty quiet for him too. Yeah, one, maybe two possible moves, if anything, but they're status quo. They're looking towards next year.
All right, let's get into the Cubs. Cubs playing desperate baseball like they needed to in San Francisco today. Again, they found themselves trying to avoid a sweep in Milwaukee. I'm going to start for the Brewers, though, in this one. Catcher Yasmani Grandal hits Cubs batter Ravel Garcia in the head with a throw back to the pitcher.
It's tough. If that was like a tenured veteran, there might have been some words, but, you know, Rubel's just happy to be hanging out with the Cubs right now.
How about Kyle Schwarber hanging
Pretty
out?
good.
Well, yeah.
Pretty good.
The day he'll remember.
Yeah.
Grand Slam, 473 feet. Folks, that's the longest Grand Slam in the StatCast era, which started 5 years ago, and the guy was not finished. Fourth inning, two men out.
This is the more impressive one to me. That's a flick of the wrist, opposite field. I know the balls are juiced and all the other stuff, but you know how strong you have to be to pull that off? It's crazy.
7 RBIs, career high. 7-0. Brewers cut it to 7-3, but Victor Caratini puts an end to any Brewers' dream of a comeback. 3-run shot to right. Cubs score 11 runs on only 7 hits, salvage the final game against the Brewers 11-4. Schwarber finished the day 3 for 3, 7 RBI, and 4 runs scored.
When I went up to the plate, I just wanted to be really aggressive there to get the ball in the air and just be aggressive and try to put the ball in play. And went heater up and in and was able to get to it and put it out. You have a couple games like that and this doesn't go your way, to be able to come out and not let that affect you from that that third game here and come out and get a big win and going into another big matchup here, have the off day and go to St. Louis. So get some rest and we're all going to be ready to go.
Let's hope so. Here's today's Save Big Money at Menards Cubs Notebook. Schwarber had been in a horrific slump the last 2 weeks. Coming into today's game, he was 8 for his last 48, 2 for his last 22, 4 home runs, 4 RBIs, 9 strikeouts, no walks. Maybe he slammed his way out of it today?
You hope.
I hope so. Let's get into the White Sox. We'll talk about Schwarbs in a second. Sox hoping to split their 4-game set. What is Jose Abreu doing?
Get no steps in.
Run into the stairway of heaven. This one was over early. Dylan Covey's 4th pitch of the game, 2-run homer. 3 batters later, Miguel Sanu.
Yeah.
That's out of here. 3-run shot.
That was not good.
Covey threw 14 pitches, faced 5 men. All 5 scored. He was pulled and sent to the minors after the game, thankfully. Twins continue to punish White Sox pitching. Jonathan Schoop with a 2-run blast here to left. Gabe Kapler added another home run later. Twins crushed the White Sox 11-1. They're the best home run hitting team maybe ever in baseball.
Yeah, they're going to have 6 guys who hit 20 or more home runs. That lineup is dominant right now, and they're hitting their way into a wild card position.
Twins take 3 or 4 at the break.
Division.
White Sox are now 4-13 since the break. And what's wrong with Dylan Covey?
I think right now he's got to put himself in the mindset of pitching with conviction. Pitching with confidence, truly trusting the stuff that he has. And right now, all we talked about was just resetting, getting himself back on track. We believe he has the stuff to pitch in the big leagues. It's just a matter of being able to use it in practical terms.
All right, before we get into the White Sox, let's talk about the Cubs.
Sure.
I want to talk about the bullpen. The Cubs have blown 8 saves in the month of July alone. That's most in the National League, tied for the most in baseball. What are they going to do about this bullpen?
All right, that's the thing. What can you do? With the trade deadline coming up, if you want to make a move for a good reliever at the bullpen, then you got to offer up something good. And you start looking at the core players, and who can you be better by trading for? And that's going to be the question. I'm not sure if they're stuck, if they have to look down to the minors. I'm not sure where they're going to be able to find someone who can be a difference maker in a bullpen now.
It was incumbent upon them to not only sweep the Giants, but beat the heck out of the Giants to make them think that they have no chance in this wild card hunt that they're going on, because then you get Will Smith, you get Watson, some of these other guys that are in that Giants bullpen on the market more so. Not only did they not do that, not only did they not pummel the Giants the way they should have, but the Giants feel good about themselves, and your bullpen is on the show for everybody. So now I know that the price of the brick is going up. I'm gonna strangle you now for a deal if I'm anybody dealing with the Cubs right now, because the Cubs are the team that nobody really wants to help.
Schwarber give them something to sell out there?
You know, this team is relying on the long ball. You got about 3 guys who can consistently go deep for you, especially when the playoffs come around. I don't know if you want to give up that bat. And I understand pitching, you need pitching. But right now, I think it's a seller's market when it comes to bullpen arms.
Can they win the National League Central with the bullpen as is?
The National League Central, I think they can win it. I don't think they have the horses to go up against the top clubs in the National League to win the pennant.
This team just doesn't have it.
No.
It doesn't feel like it has
There's something missing.
And Kimbrel may be 3-4 weeks away still. What about Ben Zobrist? Can he rescue the Cubs?
I don't think that kind of pressure is even fair to put on that guy's head, what he's gone through in terms of his actual personal life. This team, there's so many things where if they did triumph over it, like the Addison Russell saga and the Ben Zobrist stuff and some of the injuries in the bullpen, we talk about how, wow, look how together this team is. But it seems like these little chips and these little cracks in the armor, these things are actually, they're taking on water on that boat now. And it's going to be hard to overcome. They may win this division just because the Milwaukee Brewers just don't have enough offense for me, outside of Christian Yelich and outside of Grandal and maybe a couple other guys. They just don't have enough offense right now. But the Cubs they're missing that thing, that's something. And I can't put my finger on it. And on top of it, you got a manager who might be on the last year of his deal.
All right, let me go to the White Sox now, Mitchell. Let's talk about Eloy Jimenez back in the lineup, 3rd on the team, 17 home runs, 39 RBIs. How much does he help this team right now?
This guy is a legitimate bat in that offense. He's a guy who's just coming into his own in the power numbers when he got injured. He definitely helps that lineup all the way down. He puts a little fear into opposing pitchers, and the kid can play some glove, too. I think he's a big part of this team.
They called him Lil Poppy for a reason. He's got that kind of power, potentially, to hit 30 home runs a year. His glove is a little suspect. You know, he's a lumberer out there, and that's the reason why people might think of moving Jose Abreu as well. And next offseason, you get him over there at first and have him taking some ground balls at first base, the position where he can at least hurt you. But this is a dude who's supposed to be a 35, 100 RBI, 100 walk kind of guy for the foreseeable future. His numbers and his slash line, I mean, he's got monstrous power. There are probably only maybe 8 or 9 guys stronger than him in the American League right now.
All right, Moncada, Yohan Moncada, after batting cleanup since Monday, was back in the 2 spot yesterday.
Right.
Okay. Where should he be hitting right now? Should he be hitting in the 2 spot, or should he be batting cleanup?
Long term, he should be the guy that is either in front of or behind Eloy Jimenez.
Long term, is that when
Lou Bob comes up, Louis Robert comes up, Tim Anderson is back healthy. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Long term, I think he's a guy who's middle of the lineup, 3 or 4 or 5. But nowadays, the 2 hitter is the guy who's going to get the most reps, as you saw Madden employ that the last couple of years or so. So long term, he should be somewhere in that 2 through 5 range. I'd like to see him in that 3 or 4 range. But he's definitely rounded into the form that you thought he should be as one of the top prospects in baseball. He's what, the 5th or 6th best third baseman right now in baseball via WAR.
By the way, you got Robert leading off when he was finally
hopefully he's hitting everything in AAA.
Imagine him and Anderson setting the table. It's nice.
Right.
I would love it. All right, you got anything to add for me there?
No, I'm just enjoing the show.
No,
right.
don't do that.
We're just getting started here on the final word.
Just
talk
hang
some
out.
football. Bears on the practice field. I could use a drink right now. Yeah. Bears on the practice field for the first time in pads. We'll have a report from Bourbonnais. Plus, I'll sit down with Bears chairman George McCaskey. Oh. I asked him what his greatest memory has been while being with the team. His answer might surprise you. And yes, I could use a Tito's water.
Wow.
Back after this.
Sponsors out here.
If you're a fan of the Final Word or our Bears shows, you need to follow us on Twitter. Check us out at Fox Kickoff. You can follow me. I'm at Lou Canellis. Jason is at Jason1Goff, and Mitch is at MDiggityDog.
Yo.
Bears are on the pads for the first time this season, heating up the defense, which had the upper hand today. Eddie Jackson picking off Mitchell Trubisky. Hey, wide receivers put on a show for the 17,000-plus fans over the weekend. But the kicking competition, folks, that was must-see. And Sierra Santos saw it all weekend long.
Love it or hate it, the biggest storyline from Bears training camp is still the kicking competition. The coaching staff switched up the structure so the kickers will alternate every other day. The goal is to put them in the right mindset and prepare them for their own individual day. And through the first 2 days, each guy has only missed one attempt.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, I like it.
At this level, everything is pressure, whether you're kicking in practice, whether you're just kicking in front of the coaches, whatever you're doing, there's pressure. So I think it's all, you know, you feel pressure everywhere, but I mean, that's anywhere you are.
How do you not love two kickers, you know, battling for one spot, competing their tails off after everything that's gone on with our team and our city? I appreciate that.
Sunday was the team's first day practicing in pads, and no one was more eager than rookie running back David Montgomery, who knows he's got work to do when it comes to route running and learning the playbook.
It's a day-by-day process, just making sure that I study, put in extra hours, extra time to try to learn as much as I need to learn and retain as much as I can retain, and just go out and get better every day.
He just quiet to y'all. That boy is full. That boy is a jokester. He just quiet right now. He's in the shell right now. He's going to break out soon, though.
Tariq talks a lot. But, yeah, I talk a little bit when I get around those guys so I can, you know, try to work myself into here and try to get myself acclimated to the guys around me.
Nothing's going to change from what we saw on tape at Iowa State. Nothing's going to change. He has some of the best vision that I've seen in a long time. He feels where the defenders are before they show up. So that's good. Now, the defenders in this league are a little bit bigger. They're a little bit faster, and they hit a little bit harder. And he's got to make sure. The one thing that he did in his career is he protected that football. And, you know, I think that's what he's going to have to continue to focus on, is make sure that this is a new league, and I know that he'll do that.
Montgomery also told me that Tariq Cohen and Mike Davis have done their part to show him the ropes through his first training camp. He was also pressed more on his quiet nature and the reasoning behind it. His explanation was this: God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more than you speak. Pretty good advice from a rookie. Reporting from Bears training camp in Bourbonnais, Sierra Santos, Fox 32 Sports.
All right, thanks, Sierra. And this is my favorite time of the year, folks. Our first promo for football here on Fox. We'll have all 4 preseason games right here on Fox 32. We'll kick it off with the Panthers and Bears, Thursday, August 8th, a week from Thursday, 6:30, right here on your official home of the Bears, Fox 32, Chicago. All right, I want to talk about things that worry me already, and I'm going to start with you right now, because you always make me feel better.
Uh-oh.
All right?
All right.
You worried about the tight end position at all? When I hear that Adam Shaheen sat out today's practice, Trey Burton's not ready, went through the sports hernia surgery.
Yeah.
Where are we going at tight end?
Well, I mean, Adam Shaheen was drafted as a project and a reach, his second-round pick. It's time for him to put up a shut-up. Trey Burton, he obviously did not perform in the playoffs. There was a lot of questions on what actually happened there. He is not only a talented receiver, but a talented blocker, so they got to get him healthy as early as possible. But the onus is going to be on the Taylor Gabriels of the world and the Allen Robinsons of the world. Tariq Cohen catching the ball out of the backfield. Mitchell Trubisky's not going to have a safety blanket up the seams at the outset of the season, and if he does, it's because Adam Shaheen actually proved to be, worthy of the second-round pick.
He just rattled off some wide receivers. Yep. Could you see this team keeping 7 wide receivers when they break camp?
Sure. If you look around at the roster and what their offense is and how multifaceted it is and the way they want to spread the ball around, why not? And if you're having a shortage at tight end, have a couple big receivers in that can also make a block first and then break off and go down the post, go down the middle of the defense.
I really like that Riley Ridley. Calvin Ridley's
he's
brother.
Gotta make the team.
He comes out ready to play.
Yeah, and he's a Georgia kid, too. Yep. They don't recruit guys who are not ready for the NFL as soon as they touch down in Athens. So I think there's going to be a lot of competition at that position.
Can we go through the receivers?
Yeah,
all right. Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller, Riley Ridley, Cordero Patterson, Javon Wims, yes or no?
I think yes.
I like Wims.
I like Wims
Emmanuel Hall.
Yeah, that's going to be that's where the conversations are going to happen as far as how many you're going to carry and how good a special teams player
and how well they run the routes and all that. You're going to start really nitpicking at the end there because he's fast as heck.
Marvin Hall?
We're getting to too many. We're going to get
Williams
to
Lambert.
We're going to get to Aaron Hall.
He's a long shot too, but he's another interesting guy.
Tanner Gentry.
All right, we're doing enough.
You saw a little bit of Tanner Gentry last year.
I know, and we're only going to see a little bit of him in preseason, seemingly.
All right, let's talk defense. Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, both taking part in their first training camp in 2 years.
Yeah.
Can these two be even better than they were last season now with a training camp under their belt?
Heck yes. Even though it's a new defense with Chuck Pagano, they say the initial word is how similar it is to what they learned with Vic Fangio. Having these two guys out here a whole preseason together and really working alongside each other and working on the calls and everything, yeah, there's no doubt they could be better. They are a force, and they'll be a force this year.
It makes me laugh because of all the pocket watching that Bears fans were doing when it came to Roquan Smith, and he's not ready, and he should get his butt in camp. All he did was have an all-rookie season, and he's got all-pro type talent. Khalil Mack is just a game wrecker, a dominator. He turned it on in their first practice, and they could get nothing done on offense from what I hear on Saturday. Khalil Mack is one of the 3 or 4 best players at his position. He could take 0 snaps in the preseason, and I'd be fine
in
with
that
it.
defense, the oldest, Hakeem Hicks, is going to be 30 in the middle of the season. I mean, these are kids who are just monsters. That defense is going to be one to reckon.
Defense could be even better than it was a year ago.
Yes.
Well, we'll see. Because
you're talking 50 quarterback
Chuck
sacks,
Pagano.
27 interceptions.
And if Ha-Ha Dix can have a good year and help out.
I'm worried about Clinton Ha-Ha Dix. A lot of people in Cheeseland are very happy that he's no longer the safety there, and he's already on the PUP list as well. I worry, though, because what you saw from Vic Fangio and the style of play call and Chuck Pagano, I mean, let's face it, I don't care if you call the exact same plays, exact same verbiage, it's not the same guy. So the tendencies will be a little bit different. Sure. You got to make sure you get over those obstacles because doubt can creep in, especially when you got a new guy at the helm.
All right, guys, each of the 2 kickers, Eddie Pineda and Elliott Fry, have had their day in the sun this weekend. Fry nailed 9 of 10 field goals yesterday, including a 60-yarder. Pineda comes back today, hit 7 of 8, including 1 from 63 yards out. Who do you guys have your money on?
I like my money. I will put it on neither one. I enjoy this kicking competition, but I will still wait to see who becomes available before the first week of the season.
Yeah, holla at me at game 3 of the preseason when the lights are really on and they get put, because they're going to put themselves in some positions where they're going to kick 40 and 45 yarders. It's not going to be fun for us to watch as Bears fans, but in the preseason, you got to find out who your guy is. And like you said, Mitch, all the good kickers have already been signed, so you got to find something with these 2 guys.
It'll be a white knuckler situation watching these guys, especially if they're on this club come September 5th. All right, we're just starting to talk Bears here. When we return, I'm going to go one-on-one with Bears chairman George McCaskey. I love this guy. I love that he's a fan, his enthusiasm. That and much, much more is still to come here on The Final Word. Welcome back. The Bears open training camp Friday, facing monstrous expectations. Super Bowl or bust. Yeah, seems a bit greedy for a franchise that hasn't won even 1 playoff game since January of 2011. But I won't be the guy to kill the happy camper attitude in Bourbonnais. With the start of training camp, my conversation with Bears boss George McCaskey about the team's 100 celebration.
Lately, there's been a lot of talk about the top 100 Bears list. So I'm not going to put you on the spot to go through all 100. But were you happy with at least the top 3? Peyton, Butkus, Nagurski.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that group. We knew there would be debate. We wanted there to be debate. But that's, that's what it's all about.
That's part of the fun.
There's no question in the world about who's number 1. And we invite debate about the next 99.
Give me your favorite story about this organization. Maybe it was as a little boy, talking to your grandfather, in the position you're in today.
One story, since becoming chairman, when we decided to retire Mike Ditka's number, I called him up and I said, I'd like to talk to you one-on-one. And he barks into the phone, I'm down at the restaurant, come on down. I got down there, I told him, he said, well, it never really made any difference to me, which I didn't believe him. I think he was honored to finally have his number retired. But I thought, what a privilege to be barked at by Mike Ditka, the coach. The Centennial Scrapbook that was written by Dan Pompei and Don Pearson was the result largely of 15 or 16 hours of interviews they did with Virginia McCaskey. And her recall was just stunning stuff that had happened 70, 80 years ago. Her handprints are all over this book, and she's got great stories to tell. Well, we've been here from the start. Our family's been involved since the beginning of professional football, and it's a tremendous honor. It's humbling, it's gratifying, it's challenging, and it's exciting. And we're looking forward to the next 100 years.
All right, yes, we are. Let's do some rapid-fire Bears questions, all right?
Okay.
All right, we're going to go back and forth. We'll start with you, Jay, first. Let's start with the record. What's your prediction? And I know we're just at the start of training camp.
Yeah.
I'll allow you to change it as we start the regular season. But right now, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking 10-6. I'm thinking 10-6. Yeah, the injury luck. Yeah, I'm sorry, brother.
I had it there. I did the work. 10-6.
It's tough for this team to be as healthy as they were last year, and they're not sneaking up on anybody.
All right, Mitchell Trubisky, 24 touchdowns last season. You taking the over or the under 24?
I will take the under only because I think they're going to have some running back success out of there. I think they're going to break off a lot of runs between Tariq and
I'm going
David.
over. I'm going over. I'm thinking around 28, 29. It's time for him to step up. There is no more counting steps. It's time to dance.
All right, here's one for you. Who will throw more touchdown passes, Tariq Cohen or Chase Daniel?
Hopefully Tariq Cohen, because if Chase Daniel is up in the 4 or 5 range, somebody's hurt.
All right, who's going to lead this team in rushing?
Tariq Cohen's going to lead it.
Wow! Yeah, David Montgomery. They drafted this kid.
I think Tariq does.
Who leads the team in receptions?
Oh, receptions. I'll go Allen Robinson.
Taylor Gabriel.
Okay. All right.
Bears had 50 sacks last year. Over or under 50 this year?
Yeah, I say under. Only reason why I say under, tougher schedule. Playing better teams.
I'm going to go over because Khalil Mack will actually be healthy all 16 games, hopefully.
6 defensive touchdowns last year. Will they equal that?
That's tough. I got to go under. That's a great year.
I'm going to go opposite. I'll go over.
27 picks for the defense. Over or under 27 interceptions?
Under. That's a ridiculous number.
Yeah, under. I don't think Kyle Fuller has the takeaway year, even though he's a stellar corner this year.
Biggest threat in the NFC North?
It's the Green Bay Packers.
I think Vikings.
Oh, all right.
Coming up after another break, we find out if I'm nuts or not nuts. I say the Blackhawks have the best goaltender, best goaltending tandem in the NHL right now? What do you think? I'm nuts? We'll find out next. All right, time to find out if I'm nuts or not nuts. Got a bunch of thoughts for the guys here. Let's get it going. Cubs are going to make a blockbuster trade before the deadline on Wednesday.
Nuts. I don't see anything happening.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know what they have to give up that they want to give up.
Yeah.
All right, if Ben Zobrist does return, he will make no difference for this Cubs team.
I agree.
I'm with you. I can't.
38 years old.
Yeah, I can't
How do you come back after taking that hole?
The headspace. The headspace is tough.
White Sox will not make a trade of any consequence before the deadline.
I'm with you.
Yep. Me too, as well.
So far, you're
way
very
smart.
sane. Yeah, I mean.
I can go contrarian if you want.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you.
Well, you finally started thinking like a rational person.
Finally went with the smart guy. With the addition of the Vezina Trophy finalist Robin Leonard, the Blackhawks are going to have the best goaltending tandem in the NHL this year.
Come on, Mitch.
Not nuts.
I don't know who the other best goaltending tandem would be.
I don't know any great tandems.
Dominic Hasek and Chris Osgood. Like,
all right, then
where
let me throw this out to you. I think Leonard's going to be your starting goaltender. He's going to be the most important goaltender in the second half of the season.
Now we're talking. I'll go with that.
Yeah,
I'll ride out with that.
Of the season.
And I love Corey Crawford, but I just cannot bet on his health anymore.
You're right. It's tough. He's had too many head injuries.
All right, the Fire moving to Soldier Field, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think it's tough. The traffic, the field. I don't know if they're going to find as much help downtown as they would out in the suburbs.
How many people are you really going to? You're going to play in front of a stadium that's over half empty a lot of the time?
Yeah,
it's not a good
tough
place.
look.
All right, there's no excuse for what the NCAA uncovered at DePaul earlier this week. I'm sorry, but heads should roll in Lincoln Park.
Something has to happen. You're watching a program, something's got to happen.
Yeah, especially if you're not winning.
Yep.
Simple as that.
All right.
If you're going to cheat, better win.
Final timeout right after this. All right, big week of baseball. I know you're headed to the Raid on Tuesday, but the Cubs have 3 in St. Louis and then 3 home against Milwaukee. What do they need to do in those 6?
I wish they would sweep, but they got to win 4 or 5 of those to keep this thing going.
Yeah, got to get 4 or 5 just to feel good about yourselves, and you're going up against some prime competition that's trying to track you down.
Tuesday you'll be in Bourbonnais with the Bears. What will you be keeping an eye on?
Well, I mean, just seeing the maturation of Mitchell Trubisky, right? I mean, if they're talking about taking care of the football, you're going up against that defense. I know practice interceptions don't really mean much. He threw a lot last year, and of course, Nagy was like, this is the part that we need to get out of his system. So hopefully he's a little bit sharper.
How about the way Trevor Bauer just threw one over the center field wall?
He's got quite an arm.
Yeah, he's a special
That was beautiful. If you didn't see the highlight, you got to check it out. Our next day is tomorrow morning, 4 a.m. Inside the Bears is next. Guys, have a good week. I'll see everyone tomorrow.